And we're back. I'm Tim Freitas from the Garden of English, and today I'm coming to you with an AP Lit and AP Lang video. Let's talk about multiple choice. So, often students are frustrated with their multiple choice scores. You may be one of them. And today, we can work to fix that, but you will have to take action. Do you want to actually do something to get better? I hope so. So if your answer is yes, well then, action. Okay, here's a top 5 countdown for the things that you can start doing right now to improve your multiple choice scores, whether you're a Lit student or a Lang student. Coming in at number 5, the best tip I can give you is to actually read. Yeah, that's all you need to do. Wait, no. You need to read without your phone in the room with you. Or if it's with you, at least turn off your notifications. You can do it, I promise. Anyway, clearly I'm not talking about reading text messages or message boards or just the text bubbles that show up on TikTok or Instagram Reels. And I'm also not talking about reading those incredibly dense classics. Honestly, find a book, magazine, or website that's your jam and get to it. Even blogs work, and there are blogs for everything out there on the internet. Like sports? How about Sports Illustrated or ESPN.com? Nature? How about National Geographic? Contemporary pop culture? Check out The New Yorker. I think you get my drift. And if you're an AP Lit student, I know you struggle with poetry. So, you know what I think you should do? Read more poetry. Poetryfoundation.org has you covered for that, and it's all free. Okay, I understand my first rec is easier said than done, but if you do what I just suggested, your reading skills will build pretty quickly. Every year there's a correlation between my avid readers and their high multiple choice scores. I want that for you too. Let's shift to number 4 in the countdown. The best advice I can offer now is that you practice multiple choice often. What's nice about this is that if you practice a lot of multiple choice, you'll also take care of increasing your reading output. So you'll essentially take care of tip number 5 and number 4 at the same time. If you're in an AP class looking for more multiple choice and you don't have access to it, you can also ask your teacher to open up more multiple choice practice in AP Classroom. That's something that I do for my students when they ask me for more practice. Just practicing multiple choice is good, but there's something else you can do to really help build your skills. When practicing multiple choice, once you find out the correct answers, especially if you got it wrong, instead of always reading the rationales that are written for you, you should reason out why the correct answer is correct for yourself and then find the textual evidence to prove it. Because when you do this, you're thinking about your thinking. It helps your thinking grow your thinking so you can think better. And thinking better helps you perform better, especially on the multiple choice task of your exam. Okay, shifting to tip number 3, this is going to help you create an overall great reading skill. If you're reading and don't know a word, keep reading. Kind of like what they say in Finding Nemo, just keep swimming. But in our case, just keep reading. Too many students just stop and get frustrated when they don't know a word. Don't do that. You can pull meaning from language even if you don't know what every word means. Think about this title of one of my favorite short stories, The Triune Tale of Diminutive Swine. I may not know what triune means, but I know what tri means. 3. I may not know what diminutive means, but I know that swine means pig. So that means that I can guess that diminutive probably means little. And you know how I figured that out? By using what I did know instead of thinking about what I didn't. That's called using context clues. One way to practice this is if you see a word that you don't know, just circle it and then draw arrows to the words in the sentence around it that may help you understand the meaning. Or look at the word itself and see if you can know any part of it. Take the word laborious, for example. Totally a word that you might see show up on your AP exam. You may not know what it means, and there's no context, but if you look at the word, notice the word labor that's in it. Well, what do you think it means? I bet you can guess. That's right, it means to work really hard, to labor. That's how you do it. All right, the second best advice I can give you is to develop a multiple choice game plan before you go into test day. Now, this will look different for different types of people. So let me go over some scenarios. For those of you who struggle with answering all of the questions in the time that's allotted, know that you're not alone. And if I were a student, I'd probably be with you. But here is what you need to do. For the first 50 to 55 minutes while you're taking your exam, work your heart out at your pace where you perform the most efficiently. Then, with 5 minutes left, if you notice you have questions that are unanswered, bubble in an answer to each question. Some say to just pick one letter and bubble in only that letter to finish up the job, but I don't know about how that helps you statistically. I tell my students they can randomly bubble. But what I do know is that bubbled answers have a higher probability of being correct than unbubbled answers. So no matter what you choose to do, one letter or varying letters as you go all the way down, get this done. And if you have a little time left over after your frantic bubbling, just go back and pick up where you left off and try to get the right answers for those that you kind of frantically bubbled. At least you know you're not leaving any potential points on the table by not bubbling anything in. Now, some of you have a different issue that needs to be game planned. You do better with different types of readings. So for you Lang folks, you may struggle with archaic readings, so make a plan about how to handle that. Do you want to save those for the end? Do you want to do the hard stuff first? There's no right way to do it, but you need to make sure that you have a plan on how to handle it. And what about you lit folks? Struggle with poetry? That makes sense. Most do. So, figure out if you want to do the poetry questions first or last. Your personality dictates this. You just have to, as Polonius would say, know thyself. If you plan on doing your exam a little out of order though, make sure that you don't mess up your bubble sheet.
You have been warned.
Often, just having a plan going into the test can help you with your multiple choice anxiety, especially on test day. So don't map this out the morning of test day. Make sure that you think about your multiple choice plan well before you go in. Oh, and for you Lang folks, please know that you can do the same thing with this planning. You can choose to do your writing multiple choice questions first or your reading multiple choice questions first. Just make sure you don't mess up your bubble sheet. Play to your strengths and to your character. For me, I know I'd mess up my bubble sheet, so I kind of have to go in order. But that's my plan, and I would stick to it. But for some of my students, they like the writing questions better, so they'll want to start there and then go back to the reading questions. That's okay. Some of my lit kids like doing the challenging parts first, so they're going to start with the poetry questions and then move to the prose passages. It doesn't matter. There's no wrong way to do this, just like there's no wrong way to eat a Reese's. But don't go in without a plan. All right, here's the big reveal. Here's my #1 tip for you as you work to get better at your multiple choice. Know what the common types of wrong answers are so that you can be more informed as you engage in the process of elimination. Over the past 13 to 14 years, I've noticed that most students can narrow down most questions to a correct answer and what's called a lead distractor. And if you know what the common characteristics of lead distractors are, you can better weed them out. So now, I'm going to reveal some common lead distractor traits. On your exam, you need to choose the best answers when you do your multiple choice. So that means that some answers may be right, but they're not the best. I need you to keep that in mind as we consider this. So here's the first thing you'll want to think about when you're trying to figure out if an answer is wrong. You'll see an answer that is half true, but has something false in it. This is a really tricky answer because most of the time students can notice the truth, but when they see the part that's wrong, they think they misread the piece, and then they question their own reading comprehension as opposed to the answer. Don't fall for this. If you know that one answer is entirely correct and you don't know about part of another answer, you're probably looking at an answer that is meant to distract you. Stick with the one that you know is entirely right. Have some confidence. Another popular distracting feature is having an answer that's entirely true, but not for the question that you're answering at that moment. Ugh, what a pain. So, when you can't figure out which answer is wrong because both are true and provable with textual evidence, go look at the question itself that you're being asked. One correct answer won't work with the question itself, so you can cross that out as a wrong answer. And the final quality of a distractor is sometimes this answer is just an incredibly vague version of the correct answer. Precision is always best. So if you notice two answers look like they say the same thing, figure out which one is more specific. That one will be the right answer. And there you have it. All you need to know to improve your multiple choice skills before test day. And if you're watching, make sure that you like this video, subscribe to the Garden of English, and continue your studies by checking out what I provided for you in these videos right here.